giving anything away, what's something that you think fans will be surprised to notice with either how the book is set or how the characters are? What's something different that you think are really excited?
Well, if you've been reading the Raven Cycle, where the central tenet is that Blue can't kiss her true love or she'll die, which is noticeably bereft of kissing, fans might be shocked to find out there's 8,000 pages of kissing in Sinner. It is. My favorite thing about the title Sinner actually is because Scholastic put out a preview for librarians. They asked me to do a video for it, and it had my face, and it said Maggie Stiefvater, and below it said author, comma, sinner. It's a good thing you didn't write a book called Pervert. Oh no, now I have the microphone. That's what I get. Oh God, it's so hard to talk about the stuff that I think is going to be surprising for people in Magisterium because because there are, you know, at least 2 giant plot twists, possibly 3.
Let me just say what it's about. Very briefly.
Good idea.
Magisterium is about a kid named Callum who really doesn't want to go to magic school because his father has told him that the mages will take him down into their caves and kill him. So, good reason. And there are these tests, and the book is called The Iron Trial, the first book, because these are the tests, and he has been trained his whole life to fail them. And he fails them spectacularly. And I'm sure it will surprise no one that failing tests spectacularly does actually sometimes get you sent to magic school.
Yes, that's true.
I think that what will surprise you? There's a lizard in this book in a speaking role.
That's true. There's a significant lizard in a speaking role.
You did not expect that.
Yes.
Talking lizard.
I'm trying to think of what else is surprising. I think just
My poor shoulder.
kind of the way that I think the Cal's unrelenting desire not to be at magic school I think is somewhat surprising because there's a lot that is cool about magic school, but he has been convinced by his father that magic school will be the death of him, that it killed his mother, and I think the relationship between Cal and his father is going to be a surprising one because it is not a usual sort of, I think, parent-child relationship that you see in middle grade. His dad keeps a lot of secrets.
It's gotta be books.
Yes. Kind of books aside, I know you guys are very active online, from blogging to social media. You really you try to communicate with your fans. Can you guys talk a little bit about being a writer in all that entails in today's world, kind of beyond actually putting out a book?
I mean, I think there's a lot expected of writers these days in terms of having a social media presence. And I mean, there is one thing that I would say if you want to be a writer, which is that if you hate the idea of having a social media presence and you don't like the idea of blogging and tweeting, I mean, don't do it.
Okay.
You don't have to. And I think people can tell when you're doing it, but you're really miserable. You're just like, here I am, tweeting again. So I really enjoy it. I like kind of engaging with my readers, and when they have questions, I love talking about, because I mean, the process of writing is one of the things I love talking about, and so I love being able to talk to people who are invested in my books about the process of why I wrote the book the way that I wrote it, why I made the choices I made for the characters, and I mean, I really enjoy that. And I think that it also, certainly, like when I was growing up, it never occurred to me to write a letter or an email well, there wasn't even email, but like to an author that I liked. It just seemed like a really removed impossibility, that like writers weren't even real people. And I really think that one of the things about social media has kind of pulled down that barrier, and now we really have the ability to talk to our readers, and they have the ability to talk to us and kind of interact with us as people, and I think that was really great.
Sorry. Yes, there are books. It's very exciting. writing, but if you guys could just stay in your seats, that would be lovely. I love you both. Okay.
I was just going to say that, you know, I mean, writing when you're not co-writing can be very, very solitary. And, you know, if you are, you know, alone in your house working, you know, one of the great pleasures is to be able to go online and have it be like a water cooler where you can talk to readers, where you can talk to other writers, and, you know, where you can take a little break and you know, have the opportunity to step away from the work and get to meet some of your coworkers, if you will, you know, in a virtual way. And it's something that is really a great pleasure. I think, you know, one of the joys of being a writer for me has been getting to actually talk to other writers, which was the thing I most wanted when I was younger. It was the thing I dreamed of. And online is in many ways the easiest way to do that.
For me, I'm not only just a person online as far as an author, but I'm also a consumer of things online. And so I love to read other things from authors. I love to go and read the book and then go and find things later. And so a lot of my online presence is a response to that question of what is it that I am looking for as a reader when I go online? What do I want to see next? And the answer is never really that I want to hear them plugging their next book, or that I want to hear even where do you get your ideas. I want to get a sense of the person who made that book. I want to know why did they get this idea? And I don't want them to tell me. I want to look at it and find out instead. So that's kind of what I just try and be online, is Maggie Stiefvater in person looks a lot like Maggie Stiefvater online. And it often has strange and surprising consequences, like I tweeted something about, haha, I'm off looking for Glendower again because I was driving my Camaro around doing research for the Raven Cycle, and 10 minutes later I got a tweet from someone named Glendower, and it said, here I am. Turned out that Glendower was a librarian and a huge soccer fan who lived in Abu Dhabi, which is not where the real Glendower from the book is. But there was that. Also, last 2 days ago, I was here in New York and I was tweeting about how I was going to go and make some guacamole in my hotel room. And I was very angry about having to walk a mile to Whole Foods for avocados, and Whole Foods tweeted me back and said, come on in, we're open, which was sinister. And then at my signing last night, so many avocados, so many guacamole for all of you. And whoever thought to bring the lime, thanks for that, it's a little twist.
Well, I just want to thank you guys for answering all of my questions before I kind of open it up to the floor. We have about 15 minutes left. If you guys want to line up here, I don't think this moves, but if you guys have questions.
Yes, questions?
Hi, I'm a very big fan of all of you, and this is like a dream. Well, my question is, of all the books you've written, who are your top 5 favorite characters from your books?
Jesus, because one.
Not me first.
Yeah, top 5, go. What? Don't point at me. Okay, I really like Cole St. Clair because he has all the funny lines, but I also really like Isabel Culpepper because she's actually smarter than he is. And then I also like Ronan Lynch from the Raven Cycle. I also happen to really like Sam Roth because he knows German poetry. 5 is hard. That's all of the characters. I like the Gray Man. He's a hitman with a heart of gold.
I know.
And I really like Kavinsky, even though he is a person. 5 is like all of them. Easy. Just list all of your characters.
This is really hard. Okay. Cornelia Stone from the Modern Fairy Tale series.
Gabrielle.
Tana from Cold Skull and Cold Town. Jared from Spiderwick Chronicles. Castle from Curse Workers. Cal from Magisterium.
Chase, and that's it. The end. last names.
Agnes. Will and Jem. Tessa. Cal.
Yeah. Magnus, rumor Robbins.
This is a question for all of you, but when you guys were writing your books, like, before you finalized the name of your characters, were there any names that you had before you finalized the names of your characters?
And yeah, characters often go through multiple name changes before you decide what they're going to be. In fact, Jace was originally Will before I decided that that was too old-fashioned name, shelved it, used it later. And Clary was originally Valerie until Holly beat me to it with Valiant and wrote a book about a girl named Valerie and whose name was in the title, so I was like, well, that's not gonna happen. So I mean, characters do go through name changes until you kind of settle on the name that, like, you know, feels right, you know, feels like sort of the right skin for the character to wear. No, I think that's normal.
I feel like the one thing, you know, you're talking about the song being the most important thing. Like for me, it's a name. If I don't have the name right, I can't write the book. And I just feel stuck and I go over and over and over and if something feels wrong and something feels wrong until I get the name.
I feel the same way as Holly. A name is the character. A character is defined a lot by their name. I am maybe biased because I changed my name legally when I was 16 to Margaret, and so because I did not feel like I identified with my name.
What was it?
What was my name? We all want to know. So my maiden name was Hummel, like the little cute figurines. My first name, back when I wore black all the time, I told people I was mourning the death of modern society, was Heidi. I was Heidi Hummel. Anyway, so I changed my name legally. And so for me, my characters have to match their name. And so it's very difficult to change them. During the editing process of Shiver, someone came to me at the publishing house and said, well, actually, there is a Sam who is a werewolf in the Twilight series, so you're going to have to change his name. And I was like, no, there's no Sam. And they're like, yeah, there's a Sam. And that's when the movie was coming out. And there was the big ad that said, Sam, suddenly huge character, Steve Otter screwed, you know. And so I tried for days trying to figure out a new name, but it felt like I was writing a new person. I couldn't actually do it. And so I took a different tack. I actually read all the werewolf books I could find and highlighted the Sams in them. And then I sent the list to my publisher and they're like, fine, fine. But really, you're more likely to be a werewolf if your name is Sam than if you're